Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Defining Discipline podcast. I'm your host, Scott. This is episode 347, as well as day 347 of my journey. At the beginning of the year, I challenged myself to run 365 days in a row, all outside, bearing the elements, whatever they may bring. I also challenged myself to run 1,500 miles within this yearly time frame. Now, this is only my second year ever officially running. And to top it off, also within this yearly time frame, I've challenged myself to run two major races during this 365-day run streak. One of those races being a 50K ultra marathon trail race, which I actually finished on day 156 of my journey. That was the Yankee Springs 50K trail race out in Middleville, Michigan. And I was able to finish that 31-mile race within 7 hours, 15 minutes, and 22 seconds. The next race that came up within this yearly time frame was on day 290. I was able to run that marathon, which was the Detroit Free Press Marathon, in 3 hours, 57 minutes, and 28 seconds. So both the 7 hour, 15 minutes, and 22 seconds and the 3 hour, 57 minute, and 28 seconds were both personal record times for me. So I was very excited about both of those. Not to mention just the races were personal records because the first time I did either of them as an official race. So was very excited about the times I got and was excited to keep the run streak alive since both of those races. Now we are here on day 347. So let's talk about the mileage for the day today, and we'll get into the week, the month, and the year. So for the day today, day 347, was able to get out there to start the week off with let's see what officially came up on here, with a 3.1 mile run. So a 5K to start the week off today, and that put me at 3.1 for the week. That put me at 40.8 miles for the month, which put me at 1,616.1 miles for the year. So 1616.1. That's a pretty cool number. 16161. Let's focus in on that real quick. The 1616.1. The yearly goal was 1,500 miles. It was officially changed from 1,250 after right around the halfway mark of the year. I realized I was going to surpass the 1250 mark a lot sooner than I was able to, or a lot sooner than I expected. So I kind of bumped it up to the 1,500 mile goal for the year. We have surpassed it. We are 116.1 miles over that goal. So we don't know where we're really going to end up currently, but we're just going to try to push it out and see where we end up. I'm trying to, get closer to 1,700, but we will see. We're currently sitting here at 40.8 miles for the month, and I want to focus in on those monthly miles because every single month I challenge myself to run a 100-mile challenge, and I do it in honor of a charity in which I donate money to, as well as I start a coinciding fundraiser to try to raise money and awareness for throughout that month. So for the first 11 months of the year, was able to raise money for 11 great charities. Now we're here within the 12th month, the month of December, and we're raising money for yet another great charity. This charity being St. Jude Children's Hospital. So if you'd like to donate to this month's fundraiser, you can find the link to do so on the Defining Discipline Instagram story or the Defining Discipline Facebook story, or my personal page's Instagram story, or my personal page's Facebook story. Within those stories, all you have to do is click on the link, and it'll open up the actual Facebook page where you can make your donations. I do want you to know that all donations that get made go directly to this cause. Facebook is not taking any percentage or portion of your donations. Even though they are the middleman and they are ones processing it and giving it to the actual cause, they have made the agreement not to take any percentage. I do know times are tough and not everyone can afford to donate. I get that. If that is the case and you would still like to truly help out, the next best thing you could do is you can just click on that share button and it helps raise awareness for this cause as well. So if that is the route you want to take, you can also find the link on the same exact place. The stories, you click on the story, it'll open up the actual page where you can share it yourself. Now that we got that out of the way, let's kind of get ready to get into today's actual episode. We're going to try to keep this one a little bit shorter than the last few. But as always, right before today's episode, we're going to go over today's word of the day for December 13th. Bill Biliger. Beliger means to trouble or harass. I'm assuming that's what today's word of the day is. Let's get a little robot voice here.
Beleaguer.
Beleaguer. So I was completely wrong, completely off. Sound like an idiot. But that's why we do it. We're doing it to learn more words. So this is a word I've learned today. It is beleaguer, and beleaguer means to trouble or harass. So beleaguer is today's word of the day for December 13th. Now let's get into today's actual episode. For today, day 347, today's theme is instinct. And I want to talk about that just because when you start to do something so much and, for the example I want to give is, tonight I just got out there and I just ran, and it was just kind of by instinct. I wasn't even focusing on my breathing anymore. I wasn't focusing on my pace, but I just kind of ran really good and a lot faster, and my my form was pretty good tonight, and everything just kind of fell into place, and it was just all kind of by instinct. I felt better tonight, felt good tonight. No, I was keeping it low. Kind of wanted to rush back, got out there a little bit earlier than I had been, so it just felt good and did it kind of all by instinct. Didn't have to think about anything. It just kind of just happened, and kind of just in the zone. And I was actually listening to the football game while running, so kind of just listening and just going at it, snapping a few pictures, going, snapping a few pictures and going. I look down, I'm crushing the pace, not even trying to, and it's just again all by instinct. So I kind of wanted to touch on that today, just because when you do things so often, you kind of learn by instinct. You kind of just have that instinct to do things. Maybe if at your job you do something so repetitive and so much that it just becomes instinct, that you don't have to think about it. You're just doing it without even thinking about it. It's just a reaction. And it's something I think we truly can train ourselves to do within any realm of our lives. Obviously our jobs, but I mean, perfect example is, again, what I just gave you was me running. When I first started running, it was all the exact opposite. It was me, while I'm running, focusing on my legs, focusing on my breathing, focusing on the form, focusing on my pace, focusing on everything. And it wasn't ever by instinct. It's me trying to hone it and trying to figure out how to continuously get better. But once you start doing it more and more and more often, things start to become and start to happen by instinct. And that is something I've kind of learned again over the last few years, and it's running that has really given me, really opened my eyes the most to it. Just to see how far I've came over these past 2 years. And a lot of it now is kind of just me going out there on instinct, listening to my body and just kind of following and going forward. And it's worked out well for me. And I'm going to continue to try to just do things by instinct, and try to also listen to my instinct. When my body starts to tell me, maybe things are a little too much, listen to my body, which was another prime example of recently. My foot has been bothering me, and it never got to the point of actual, like, full on lots of pain, but my tendon was inflamed to the touch where it just felt like my shoe was always tied down really tight, and when I would move it certain ways, it would kind of shoot a little pain through it. Then it got to the point where I would feel like I had an itch, and I go to itch my foot, on the certain spot, and my foot was just numb where I was itching, and it just, kind of freaked me out. But I kind of stepped back, um, and it feels a lot better now. And it's again, it was instinct. I took that instinct of, hey, something's not right here. Maybe I need to kind of step back a little bit, lower it, and until my body starts to feel a little bit better, and then decide to kind of pick it up, which is what I'm doing right now. And it's a big kind of like today was a big surprise. The pace I went was a little bit quicker than I expected. Like I said, it was just all by instinct to just kind of just listen to my body and just went. It felt good, so I went. But I'm going to try to hold it back a little bit on the pace. I'm going to pick up the mileage here a little bit, but again, still going to be listening to my body as well and listening to whatever instinct my body gives me going forward. Maybe my foot starts to get inflamed again, step back again. So just listening to whatever your first instinct, you don't always have to do first instinct, whatever your deep instinct is. Sometimes instincts can be wrong. Throughout my life, I've also believed that I was really great at reading my own instincts, and my instinct was always right, but I used to have very bad instincts on a lot of different occasions. So you can't always trust your instincts, but I think deep down inside, you know which instincts to trust. Sometimes you want to go off irrational thought or behaviors. A lot of my instincts was just a quick decision, and I almost wanted it to be that, so I kind of followed through with that instinct. But if you really listen to your instincts, you deep down inside know which ones are kind of going to be right and going to be kind of grow into fruition of what's actually going to happen. So the whole point of today's podcast, again, is to get to that point where you're doing stuff just instinctually, where you don't have to actually think about it. It's just happening. You're going out there and just working, and it's just, snap of the fingers. It's just happening, and you don't even necessarily have to put your brain in another place, but, it's your body's just doing the work for you because it knows what it has to do. It's instinctually doing it. That is one thing to kind of look at, and I want that to be your daily discipline for the day today. Is to get in that, is to really focus in on those instinctual things that you can do on a day-to-day basis, and how you can really focus in on them, and get to that point in your life where you're doing it instinctually, where it's just happening, just by instinct. So that's your daily discipline for the day today, and to listen to your instinct as well. And again, the instinct that you know for sure is the one to listen to. You deep down inside know which one. But if it's maybe an instinct that you're kind of wishy-washy about, or maybe you're leaning towards because deep down inside you really wish that's what it was, maybe not listen to that one so much. You know which instinct. Listen to your instinct on listening to your instinct. That could be your daily discipline for the day today. And then find something that you can just do by instinct. Get good at something so good. Work at something so much that you're good at it enough just to do it by instinct. That is as well as your daily discipline as well for today. Sorry about that, guys. Little jumble word here. Little word jumble. I don't even know. So we're going to get ready to close today's episode out. Episode 347. I want to thank you guys so much for following along and listening. This is the Defining Discipline podcast. I'm your host, Scott. If you guys can, please give this podcast a like, a subscribe, a follow, and a share. On our Facebook, our TikTok, our Instagram, our YouTube, and whatever podcast streaming platform you've been following along and listening on. Other than that, I will see you guys tomorrow for episode 348. The year is getting closer and closer to being closed out. This last yearly goal of 365 days is becoming more of reality. So one day closer. So thank you guys for following along and listening. Can't wait to talk to you guys tomorrow for 348. And until then, do your daily discipline, stay disciplined, get your donations in for this month's fundraiser. And other than that, peace out. Thanks, guys.